Well, we're back today. We got all the polish put down on the floors yesterday. And as you see, it's polished. My wife keeps saying it's wax. You can see it's super shiny. Also, being super shiny, it shows footprints when you come in. So that'll be some fun for us going down the road. But anyway, Apollo loves it because he's allowed back in the house now. Getting ready to come over here and run the cold water line through the conduit that we have. We've got to pull the thicker line through there so that we can get hold of it and pull it through. We've done it one time. We know that it can be done. We've got a little bit better idea of how to rig up the line on it. So it should be, crossing my fingers again, should be fairly easy to get that to pull across. All right, we've got the pipe set up. We've gone ahead and taped it up on the end. We have a 1,000 pound test poly line hooked up to it. Jafana is going to push it and I'm going to pull from the other end, and we are hopefully going to be able to get this pulled through there with relative ease. I hope I'm not dooming myself by saying that. Push. Hold on. Push. Keep going. We got it. So that was easier than last time by quite a bit. All right. Right here.
There goes our...
What's that?
There goes our pretty floors. So much for clean.
I've got 6 pipes that come out of there. So each one of these goes to 3 pipes, all right?
Okay.
I mean, I can do one, I can take one through here and come up, but ultimately I gotta have 6 pipes that go up. All right. Choo. Yeah, it's a lot of mess. Thinking this drill might be losing its efficiency. Man, I am covered in sawdust. 4 lines there and 2 in the other one. That should do it. I need to bring the lines down here so that I can put the outlet box for the washer. So this is definitely a downside of the home run style PEX plumbing. And this isn't actually home run because I'm bringing them all back here to a manifold. But I've got 4 lines that are going that direction. The sink and the shower each have their own hot water line and cold water line. And then I'm gonna peel off of the shower for the toilet. I gotta drill 4 holes in the joists, which I don't particularly like, but it's gotta be done.
I can't get this off of here.
Do you need it off of there? Oh, you need the other one?
To clean up after you, yes.
Yes, to clean up after.
I tried that.
Which direction did you turn?
Both. There was both. There was turning and...
Okey-doke. So as I was drilling through one of these studs right here, found out it's rotten. Now, I don't think it actively has bugs in it. I think it had bugs and it got kiln dried, but I'm not leaving it in here. Well, I've replaced that piece, so now I'm going to drill a hole in it. Actually, 2 holes, so I can get the line in here. And yes, I was conscious of the fact that I was drilling toward my arm. I made sure that I wasn't close enough for it to reach me. This is going to be the first PEX line that I run that actually is goes to the point of service. When you read the documentation on it, they refer to some of it as service lines and some of it as distribution lines. I believe the distribution line is the one that goes all the way to the end, but I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter because it's 1/2 inch PEX and it needs to go up and across. So the ones that I'm going to take over this way are going to go through these holes here, through the joists, and then down into that wall. What I'm running right now is just going to be feeding the washing machine.
Let me know when you need help.
I'm going to need help quick. You just want so bad for me not to be right.
Well, after you say you should know this stuff. Yeah.
I didn't say you should, I said you do.
Oh, well, I kind of do. I mean, kind of somewhere back there.
So this is one of the cool things about Pex-A. It's the way that it seals up, it's the way that you attach the fittings. This is an expansion sleeve. You want to make sure that you've got a pretty good cut on the end. I don't like that cut, I'm going to recut it. Take the expansion sleeve, put the expansion sleeve on the end. There are little flanges at the end of one side to keep it from going too far. Put that there. This barbed end for this Pex-A is going to go inside that. But it's not going to fit right now because that is way too tight. There's no way to get that in. You're not going to force it in, it's not going to go. This expansion sleeve is to reinforce it. What you got to do is you have to use your PEX tool. This thing right here. That opens it up. And you just work it in. The thing is, I gotta make sure when I stick it in here that I have it oriented the direction I want it, because once it goes in, it's gonna close up. And once that starts to close up, it ain't coming back out unless I cut it out. So I've got to make sure this goes in facing directly out in this direction. I've got to be fairly quick because it starts going back in pretty darn fast. I didn't make it the first time. I am going to have to stretch it again, do it a second time. You gotta be fairly quick. All right, I'm all the way in now. I'm just gonna hold it in the position that I want. And it's gonna tighten up. And once it tightens up, it's done. It ain't coming back out. It takes just a little bit of time for it to tighten back up, but It ain't long. The cool thing about it is it continues to get tighter over time. Can't pull it out at this point. Can't twist it. So I'm gonna go ahead and nail this in where I want it. Now, I need to do the same thing on this one right here. I want to get this set up so that the manifold, there's not really enough space here on the 2x4 to put them both side by side, so I'm going to stagger them. So I'm going to cut this one so that when I insert it into the pipe, it is below this, so it doesn't interfere with it. Yeah, it'll do. So I gotta figure out where I want it. I want it right here, which means I'm gonna want this facing out because I'm gonna route my lines around and up. Drop this all the way down in here. And there's a little stopper on here that is supposed to stop me when I get all the way in. Take that back out. I don't like the way it went in there. You gotta be careful also. It's not gonna happen to me on this one because it's a little bit bigger diameter, but if you stick your finger in here and that thing closes on you, it'll trap your finger and it'll cut the blood off to your finger. And you gotta get it cut off, and unfortunately you're cutting in deeper than the tissue of your finger, so you're probably gonna get cut. Alright, I'm gonna move kind of quick. There, I'm all the way in, and I'm just gonna hold it in that position while it closes back on it. It's already locked down on there. It's not coming out. It's in there nice and tight. In the next few minutes, that's gonna have tightened on it so much that you can't even really twist it. So this one is gonna get fastened just like this. Very good.
Did you see the spark?
There was a spark?
Yeah, there was a spark.
Huh, I did not see the spark.
Oh.
It's all right. It's a water line, not a gas line, so we should be fine. So I've got one holding that in there. I don't think it's gonna work its way anywhere. I'm probably gonna have to put a plate over here just to protect it from anybody being able to do anything to the line, but should be good. So I'm gonna have to change the head on this tool. Swap that one out, put on the 1/2 inch. And that also did not have a clean cut. I do not like this cutter at all. Put it on the compression sleeve. And get that all the way on there. There we go. That's all the way on, and that is forever. The second line that goes over to the washer is the hot water line, so it's going to go to this one. We're going to pull that now.
Pretty much just as far over.
It's possible. I think I actually got it. Nice. All right, what I'm doing right now, about the only way you're going to get this off is to cut the expansion sleeve. And if you've got a brass manifold or brass fitting, you can use a torch and you can heat that up a little bit and pull it off and then let it return to its normal size and reuse it, or you can cut it a little bit shorter and rejoin it. I realized I had made a mistake in the manner in which I had routed this line. It goes between these two, and I don't really want that. If it's going to go anywhere, I want it to go to the side of it, not between them. And realizing I had made that mistake, I wanted to fix it now. It's just kind of precarious because I don't want to crack this manifold. The reason I'm using the plastic and not brass is because we're on well water. And even though we're probably going to have a water treatment system, sometimes well water can be rough on fittings, brass, copper pipes, that kind of thing. And I want to cut down on my usage of them as much as possible. So what I did was cut off the sleeve, and then I scribed, basically just put a slanted scribe on the end of this PEX pipe and got hold of it, cut up just a corner of it, got hold of it with the pliers and started peeling it. And I think I'm going to be able to peel it away along that scribe mark so that I can get this off, recut it, and reattach it. I'm just going really slow because I don't want to damage the manifold. If I do, then I've got to cut the entire thing out and redo it with another manifold. It's tearing this way and not along that scribe mark that I created. There, I think I actually got it. Boom, look at that. Didn't break anything, it doesn't look like. Doesn't look like I put any cuts on the manifold. So that should work fine. Awesome. I'm gonna back it out of this little nest that I made. Here, get down this way. All right. Just not the best cutter in the world. Put that all the way on there and then hold it in place. Tighten this back up. Take some of the stress off of this joint from the manifold by creating these curves here. I'll do the same thing for this one. There we go. Now I just got to run 2 more lines from the shower and we're good to go. And actually, I've got one of these right here.
So what are these things for?
They give it that angle.
Curve.
Yeah, and it keeps it in here a little tighter and easier for me to control. And because it puts that curve in it, it takes some of the stress off this joint.
So this one's still touching, does that matter?
No, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. You can always stick a piece of foam in between the two of them to insulate.
There you go. So why do we have to take the other one off?
I like the way it was.
But that one's okay.
Well, that one's there and there's not much options.
Okay.
So
Oh, so we have one more line to run.
we have one more
We
line
can
to
do
run. Can you go get me 2 more of these?
Yes. Yes. I can't.
Are we getting tired, sweetie?
Yes. Where do we get them?
They're in the bag over there on the other side.
Okay.
Sometimes things go perfectly, and sometimes they just don't go according to plan.
Well, things aren't going well. put a crimp in the pipe, and I put another smaller one there. I was going to try and pull it out and repair it, and as I was trying to pull it out, I put another crimp in it. I thought I would try to get it out this side, and I put a fourth crimp in it. I'm writing that piece of pipe off, and I'm just going to run another one. Unfortunately, I've already terminated it on this end, so I have to see if I can cut that off the same way I did the other one. Sometimes you can heat up PEX and get the crimp out, but 4 crimps in a row, I can't heat it up if it's up in the wood, because that'll set the wood on fire. So I'm gonna see if I can get this off here without screwing this up. All right, I had to cut that line off of there, so this line, we'll pull it out, and whatever's left of it we'll use for something else. It might make a short line, so.
How do you want to do this?
I have found that most of my big mistakes on this build and on the farm happen when it's getting late and I'm getting tired. We were both spent, so we went ahead and packed it in and went home for the evening. Hope to see y'all back next time.
There we go. Did he bark at me?
But you have wood in your beer.
Wood in my beer?
Yeah. I think he was. Do that again. No. Your song.
My song?
Yeah.
That's all I got.
It was good.
Washer for the washing so that I can put it out. I need to bring the had the realization I cannot put a T on this one. You don't, well, it's fine. I can just cut the line and feed it in.
Okay.
You don't run hot water to the toilet. You run cold water to the toilet.
This is true.
Yeah. Lord knows you don't want warm water going into the toilet.
Why? That's a waste of warm water. But seriously?
I'm thinking about the bacteria it would help to grow, and the aromaticness of somebody just use the toilet and you fill it with warm water.
Gosh.
Wow.
And I'm thinking of cleaning. Oh, some bleach with some warm water.